Okay, before this starts off, this is not a review video for either one of these saws or anything I mentioned. This is just a keep in perspective video on all the information that's out there. Okay, now we'll continue on. I've got my 10-inch table saw that I've had for years, way back when they were blue, sitting on top of my Delta 36 725 T2 that I just assembled, and I've been running through its paces. And I can honestly say that this saw will not be replacing this one. I'm not saying it's not better, but that better is situation dependent. This is replacing my Craftsman table saw that I've had for even longer than I've had this one. Dust collection, good fence, bigger work area, cast iron top, replacing a dust collection system that consists of a bag underneath, a bent fence, and a tabletop and a top that's not quite as flat as it needs to be. So I've got to have jigs on top to make sure I get the cuts that I need. This one is a saw that I'm willing to pick up and toss into a bed of a truck. It's actually been dropped, thrown, fallen from roofs and second-story balconies, and it keeps right on cutting. Now, the basics of a table saw. Now, the basics of a table saw, you need a blade that will turn without wobbling. Both of these do that. You need a fence that's sturdy, and this fence will not move. And you need a flat top. Now, if you have one that can cut your angles for you, great. But this one has cut so many more board feet than I even care to count, and it was about $100. This one you're looking at $600, $650, and that's without protection plans and if you can find it and all that. But the point is I didn't start with this one. I didn't even start with this one. I started with one that was for a shop without a shop. So when I went to this, I wasn't expecting much, and I got so much more. It's got holes where you can mount it to a top. It's even got places here that you can set it into a cabinet if you want to build a cabinet. You've got your saw. It's loud enough to wake the dead, whereas this one's pretty quiet. No one can hear me 20, 30 feet outside my shop. And this one does vibrate. It's light, very light, but that's kind of what you're paying for. If you don't expect this when you buy this, it's a good saw. Dust collection consists of raise it up and sweep out all the sawdust every now and then, but this one will just work. Take it outside, do whatever you need to out there. If you need one for the shop, yes, I would go with at least this size, a contractor saw or a cabinet saw. But that doesn't mean you can't start off low budget. You can build around this. I'm going to be putting a router table into the table saw. You could build a cabinet to put your saw in, and if you needed it, you just pull it out and take it with you. So don't get hung up on all these, you need this saw. You need a saw that will cut straight. And you need a saw that's got a flat top. You need a saw that has a blade that will cut true and not sit there and wobble. Other than that, you don't need a saw for anything. All this other stuff is great. You don't have to build it yourself. It's all integrated. Dust collection, love it. Much better than this or even the bag, although it has its issues. I love the fence, but this isn't a review about this saw. This is a keep expectations open. Don't buy this one thinking you're getting this, but don't think you're going to get this spending this kind of money. Everything is one step at a time. If you can get this and do the job that you need it to do, that's great. If you have extra money or you need more precision or you need, better cutting capabilities, then this might not be the one for you. Not everybody does. This is about using the tools that we have to make something. It's not about, I've got to have the biggest and the best. I started off with hand saws, went to circular saws. Circular saw to my Craftsman. I still have my circular saw because it's great. I love them. This gives me a lot more than my old table saw. This gives me something none of the other table saws have, and that's portability. So keep in mind what you're looking for and set your expectations with, is this the best saw for the money that fulfills my needs? Or do I need something like this? Or do I need something totally different? Do I need a cabinet saw? That improves things in a whole different way for shops. So I just wanted to throw that out there and say, don't think that you've got to have this, fits everybody. It might not fit you. If I said, man, you've really got to try this, I'm serious, you need to try this, but that doesn't mean it's perfect for you. It may have things that you don't need and you don't want to pay for. And just remember, everyone starts somewhere. Start with hand saws, coping saws, a hammer, a screwdriver, and build your way up. If this is your end goal, but you can only afford this, there's nothing wrong with starting with this. Just know there is a difference. Okay? Have fun. We'll see you next time.